Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the stream. How's everyone doing? Good morning, Brian and Jeremy and Zam. Hey, Lars, 14Q and Delmar and PF Dennis. Colin and Derek and Paul. Hi, Vic and Francois. Tony, how you doing? Joker Nut, Ludwig, Ray. I hope everyone's doing well. Alex and Ken and Maurice, Christian, Kaylee and Blake. Hey, Yuri, Nathan, and Nativ, MJ. So we're going to continue with the Enraged Rabbit Carrot Feeder build. This has been a long series, but I hope one of the takeaways from this is that we're taking a lot of extra care in some of the build steps, hoping to save some headaches later. So, morning, James. Morning, Poity. How's that build going? Has Alex got all the panels on it? So there was so Murph, I'm gonna probably bounce around talking about things and what has gone on, and I'm still processing everything from Murph and remembering. But one of the highlights of the weekend was at the KB3D booth. One of the event organizers' son, his name's Alex, was building a V0.1 on site from an LDO kit. And you don't often see a 13-year-old that focused on something like that. Every time I stopped by, he was intent and working on that build. And he ended up finishing it, and we did our first ever live serial assignment on site. We let Alex hit the little button to assign it to himself. It was pretty cool. So, hey, Barnyard. Maurice, thank you for becoming a member. Hey, John Paul. Hi, Loaf. Yeah, that was one of the highlights of my weekend, along with the incredible number of people that I met and was able to interact with. Hey, Squirrel Brain. Hey, Mr. Clown. Hey, Bill. Hi, Sebastian. Hey, John. Charlie was beside himself for a week. He really doesn't like it when I leave, but he was fine. He tolerated the other, my wife and my son. But, oh, yes. Yes, Alex got a shirt as well. Maurice, I did not recover the trident. Now, I'm not the one that submitted the claim. LDO has submitted the claim. As far as I know, they haven't received an update on that. So for everyone else's benefit, after I say hi, Goo, hey, Maker Viking, hey, Remy, hey, Tracy, hey, G Funny Money, Jeremy, thanks for becoming a member. So, the trident that you watched me build on stream, the intent was to send it to Murph, and it was packaged, spent a lot of time, this very big flight case, very well packaged, everything labeled, sent it off the Friday before with UPS, and it was supposed to be delivered on Wednesday. It was delivered. Do I have I brought it home, but I forgot to grab it to make sure I had it. They delivered the shipping label. So there was an acrylic plate on this flight case that I put the shipping label on, and it was broken in two, and that's what they delivered. So the trident is somewhere. A claim has been filed, but it hasn't been recovered yet. Jeremy, did I welcome you to Charlie's Angels? My mind's racing trying to think of everything to go through. So if I didn't, then welcome. Thank you. Let's see. I have to build another one for Jason. I'm hoping to build another one. We'll see. Why even bother delivering the label? I really don't know. It's labeled right on there, 150 pounds. The actual weight of of the whole thing was about 132 pounds. We guessed a little high. The printer itself, I think, was like 40 pounds. So a lot of very heavy, hefty packaging. So, how you on? Super Smash Royale fixed your skewing issue with your Trident. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I arrived at the show and there's a big box, a big table of LDO stuff, and I'm looking around for the flight case and I don't see it. And we go over and look at the stuff, and on top of one of the LDO boxes is this acrylic shipping label. And the folks there at the fairgrounds said, yeah, they remember receiving this, wondering why it wasn't in an envelope. They didn't know what it was, but they received it. The problem is it was delivered on Tuesday. It was delivered on Tuesday, I think. And I was there it was delivered on Wednesday. I was there on Friday, more than 24 hours after the delivery. In less than 24 hours, you have a chance of going to the local center and seeing if it's still there. Once 24 hours have passed, they ship it out to one of their unmarked, unclaimed package locations. So, Linus, member for 2 months. That's awesome. You pushing plastic? Oh, one of your motors had a lower rotation distance in the config? That'll do it. Remy, it was insured. LDO is going to deal with all that in the claim. We'd really, obviously, would prefer to recover the thing. We got a couple of contacts at UPS that are being reached out to. I don't know if it's going to bear fruit, but we'll see. It was, thanks, Chris. It was awesome meeting everybody who came up. And I'm going to apologize right off. I am not going to remember every name, every person, but know that it was a pleasure. It absolutely was. I was there for the people. I was there because I wanted to interact with not only you, but also everyone else in the maker community and other folks. I had a great time. Just wandering the whole thing. It is a wonder that I didn't bring an extra present back. So I have no idea how that happened, but I got lucky. So, hey, Arizona Drone Dude. Hi, Luca. Brewing an IPA today will be hit or miss in chat. Have fun with that. Derek, thanks for gifting some memberships. PF Dennis, thanks for gifting memberships. Let me catch up here. Probably would remember the pretty wife who's with me though. I think probably a lot of us are a whole lot better recognizing faces. If I met you again, then there would be some recollection of at least haven't seen you before. Some presents are better left behind. Absolutely. I was all over the place. I was there late on Sunday with others that got the extra gift. So I have no idea how. I'm very fortunate, and I hope everybody that did catch it, it was mild and got over with quickly. Hey DJ Natty, I'm doing well. So what we're going to do today is make some more progress on the Enraged Rabbit Carrot Feeder. My hope is to get it mounted, get the easy board wired up and flashed, and check some things to make sure they're working. And the intent, hopefully, I might be optimistic, but the intent hopefully will be to finish this next weekend. I have so many projects coming up that I want to get to. So we have lots of fun at work with vanishing flight cases. The point most stuff is just plate. And yeah. Hi, Mikey. With the Uber immune system. Yeah, I got by. I wouldn't gamble on that again though. Hi, Charlie. Do you need some help? He's on the edge of the bench here, so let me help him down. Come on. Oh. He is precariously perched. Hey, Jacques from the Netherlands. Steve, for the ERCF, about what are the lengths of the wires in the chain? Do you know? I have no idea, but I'm hoping we'll find out today. We're going to be figuring out, because I've got a end stop wire here and I've got a stepper wire here. All of these are going to need to be extended, I'm sure. A servo wire here and the other stepper wire here. I think I'm going to put a connector on here, since this was a recycled extruder motor from a afterburner. V0.1 is nearly built, taking my time to do it precise and right. Good idea. Can only hop on for about 20 minutes today. Looking forward to the replay though, and hope you had a good time at Murph. I had a great, it was an 11 out of 10 for what I expected. I had so much fun. Cam just shortly went black. Uh-oh. Everything's open. Huh. Push in Plastic, thanks for gifting some memberships. How did you go on with getting the V0 on the plane? The V0 traveled well. I had bought a generic Pelican style case off of Amazon, big plastic case, and with the little cubes of foam in it, and I had it packed well, and it went good. The only thing is I bought, I mean they're cheap, but I bought a TSA lock to put on it just as an extra protection in case of it popping open, and TSA just cut it anyway, and it's MIA. So I didn't bother using one on the way back, but it traveled both ways. It made the plane switch in Las Vegas just fine. If you watch any of the videos, the V0.2, the red one that has stealth burner on it, the silver stealth burner, that was my printer. It pushed plastic for the first time in its current configuration at the show. I printed a few of the Sanjay Motormore tiles, the big hex art piece tiles. I printed several of those. I noticed the black flashes from my camera a couple of streams ago. I'm not sure what's going on. I've also noticed it on Nero's stream. So I don't know if we have similar camera setups. I don't know, I'll have to look at it closer. Hey, Dark Neutrino. So let's get going. Like I said, we'll bounce around. As I think of things to highlight from Murph, I'll bring them up, but that's just the way my brain's gonna work. I'll think of something that I want to bring up, and one thing, I mean, the shirts. We had Nemgria organize a merch purchase, and Charlie is already all over me. These are really nice. We got a few different hoodie and t-shirts and a polo. So, Dark Neutrino, thank you. I appreciate that. The black flashes are caused by dark neutrinos. Apparently some sort of YouTube anniversary thingy. Rain Motorsports, thanks for becoming a member. Hey, Cisenio 10, welcome. Yeah, let's go to the ERCF documentation. And we left off. Let's bring up the manual. ERCF manual. Here we are. And last stream, so the stream before Murph, it was a good stream to do and to take the time, because we spent almost the entire time working on the filament sensor in the Galileo toolhead I'm using. So, and it looks like we got that working reliably. So this is where we are in the manual. I was double checking some pinouts. So I think we're gonna get on to, and we tested the sensor. I think we're gonna get on to mounting this and getting the various bits wired. So let's go through here. So what do we have? We have connecting the ERCF without a custom controller board. So we're going to go to the detected, not detected, exactly. We're going to use this easy board. Now I did do some off-camera work here. I have a couple of extra Physetic, sure, whatever. I had them. 2209 steppers. And previously, I was going to solder the MCU to the thing, but I decided to go and get some headers and socket this on many of your advice. Hey P3, hey Zarp. Will the ERCF work with the stealth burner? So when just being a little picky here or whatever, stealth burner being the cooling and tool head setup, that'll work with any of them. The extruder setup is what what's important. There are existing files I know for LGX, Galileo, and Clockwork 1, and I believe there's some test parts for Clockwork 2. So, Derek, remember has it been 3 months already? That's probably 2.2 months, and YouTube counts that as 3, but still. Keeping up with Steve since Trident announced. Appreciate that. Will it work on the Clockwork 2? I think there are some test parts out there, or some preliminary parts for Clockwork 2, but I haven't looked. I haven't wanted to do Clockwork 2 stuff on stream until its final release. I did the preview video back in early December, late November. The next content I do will be assembling and going over the Clockwork 2 once it's released. Pretty early, but do you think you'll go to ERF? I bought my plane ticket, so I'm planning on going to ERF. So the intent, the flight's been booked. I haven't booked hotel or car yet, but the intent is to fly in on Friday, spend the weekend at the show, and then fly back out on Monday. How is the ERCF different from the Prusa MMU2S? It's very similar. It's been a while since I've looked at the MMU2S, but they both have multiple filament inputs with a selection system for an output. So this, I believe, I need to get a heat sink still for the TO220 voltage regulator, and I keep forgetting to order that. I'll try to get that ordered before we're putting any time on it. So. Hi, James. Hey, Tiger. Derek, $5, thank you. How much of the BOM of CW1 will carry over to CW2? So the big one is the stepper. So CW1 uses the 20 millimeter thick NEMA 17 stepper. The CW2 uses, do I have one sitting here? Uses a 36 millimeter round pancake stepper with a 10 tooth gear pressed onto it. The rest of it, the Bondtech gears, those are the same. There's a couple of fastener changes. Other than that, it's pretty close to the same. Heading to ERF 2, a modest drive for me right in the middle of Murph and ERF. Good. Did you end up getting a mini split for your garage? No, what I decided a couple of streams ago, and actually we're having some great little cool, unseasonably cool weather right now here. I decided for those extra hot days, I have a portable AC unit. And we did a test a few streams ago where it didn't seem to affect the sound quality on stream enough to be worth it. So I'm gonna wait until the off season. I figure right now is probably the most expensive time for me to make any AC changes. So I think I'm gonna wait for the off season and make a decision then, since this is working okay. Is it possible to purge the color change within the infill? Should be, that's all within the slicer, and Prusa Slicer has that ability. Hey, Printer Prun. Is the theoretical speed of V0.1 worth anything over the practicality of a 250 Trident? Already have a 220 to 250 bed slinger. If you don't need more printers with the volume, then a V0 is a very, I mean, it doesn't take a lot of space on your desk. But I don't know if the speed difference is that big of a deal at reasonable print qualities, right? Does CW2 have room for Huvid boards? If you run an umbilical, I think, but I don't know otherwise. Can you visually see a difference between Stellar Blue KVP and Sparta 3D Fluorescent Blue? I have both of those. Let's go here and here. Yes, there is quite a difference. Let's see if we can get that to focus. This is KVP, this is Sparta. Now Sparta has a much bigger sparkles in it and less dense. KVP is a much smaller particles and more dense. And then the base color is a bit different too. This is just more fluorescent, right? Glad you had a good time at Murph. I got my CW2 beta build. I was wondering about the rotation distance in the config. Do I have to change how to calibrate? If you've set up rotation distance properly, then all you should have to do is change the gear ratio from 50 to 17 to 50 to 10. So, Pioneer mini splits have seemed to be having some decent sales. I'm hoping that the off season will bring. It's not so much the price of the unit itself. I can buy a unit right now without a problem. It's dealing with the install. And the heat getting up in my attic right now is going to be miserable. I'd rather do all of this in the off season when it's cooler, when it's potentially I could maybe get it installed, or if I install it myself, it'll be more comfortable to do. So, when you did the test build of the LDO 2.4, slow X and Y moves made a vibrating or resonating noise. Mine does this too. Did you ever fix this, or is this normal? Certain speeds could, depending on the stepper and depending on your settings, how much current you're feeding them, could produce that resonant sound. I do know some of the newer steppers that LDO is putting out, I like completely got rid of it for me on my Trident, for instance. So, what would you recommend? The Clicky probe versus the Euclid probe? I think they both work great. I think I have not revisited, so I don't want to speak to the software setup anymore. I haven't dived in and revisited the updates that Euclid has done, but I do know that the Clicky macros have some settings in there and show you how to use a Euclid with it. But I'm using both. They both work. Like I said, I've said before, I like to build stuff. I'll give an opinion on a specific product, whether I like it or not, but I'd rather not dive into comparing and pitting things, especially community stuff. I don't want to pit community stuff against each other. I will say that I use them both and I like them both. The only issue with the ceiling install is if the condensate pump goes out. I can see that. Okay. Let's go through here. So this is what we're doing if we're connecting, we're not using the easy board. So connecting the ERCF with the custom controller board, and that's what we're doing. Main purpose of the custom boards are allow Do not have the spare stepper drivers. I don't have enough spare stepper drivers on this, so this will be useful. Oh, what is going on? Close the door. Skip all the steps of the ERCF manual to rate the wire connectors and motors. So let's go down here. ERCF jumpers and easy board jumpers and stepper drivers. So it looks like those jumpers there are installed in 1, 2, and 4, and 5. And what does that mean? What does that mean? The jumpers are used to allow multiple configurations. The numbering goes from left to right when the screw terminal is on top. 1, 2, 4, 5. The extra connector is wired to PA7. And the end stop to PB9. Sensorless homing is not used. We're not going to use sensorless homing. This is the most common configuration. Okay, so we're going to go with that. We're not using sensorless homing. And that's the other two, the other two options, excuse me. Speaking of coffee, I know a lot of people have been mentioning the Cactato coffee, and he had sent me a couple of samples of it. And I finally, a few weeks ago, got a hold of a grinder because I don't have a coffee grinder. So, but this is the Guatemalan, and it's really good. I also have the, starts with a P or maybe a Y, the other stuff. It's good, but I like this Guatemalan better. This is a dark roast. Air conditioning Android 23C without air conditioning here in the Alps. Thanks, Mike. I left the rotation distance at the default Voron config, 22.67, correct. Is this the calibrated via E-step, the formula you talked about a few streams back? So if you're, Kenneth, were you the one asking what you change? Leave that 22.67 if you're changing from Clockwork 1 to Clockwork 2. Just change your gear ratio from 50 to 17 to 50 to 10. If you're just asking about how you calibrate the 100 millimeters, extrude 50 and do the math there, yes, that 22.67 is the number that you modify. Yuri, yes, that's the stuff. Okay, so jumpers are correct. I need to put some heat sinks on the drivers, but that's okay for right now. Only 2209s are compatible. Careful about the orientation. I was. If you're using a 24-volt power supply, be sure to add a good size heat sink. Okay, and I am, and I need to get a heat sink. You may need to bend or remove a fin near the jumpers, yada yada. Okay, I'm not using 12 volt, I'm using 24, so I'll need a heat sink. So let's put this thing in here. We got some in 3x8s. I've got a little printed mounting board, and this actually goes in from the bottom, which kind of confused me when I was first looking at this. In like this, and then I grab some 3x8s. Hi, Gary. I've not played with Unclicky yet. Unboxed my solid fork kit yesterday and printed parts now. Maybe I'll look at Unclicky for it. I haven't played with the Unclicky either. I tried the Clicky NG, and I hear there's been some revisions to it since I tried it, but I did not have good luck with it. I like the standard Clicky so far. I've tried two of them, the Clicky NG and the regular one, and Clicky NG was not. I'd like to see if they've made changes, but I wouldn't recommend it in its configuration that I tried. Okay, so that ends up fitting in there nice. access to all the stuff. Come on, Charlie. It's gonna play the in and out game as always. What's the coffee brand again? Cactato. So he sent me a small sample because he was asking about doing a giveaway on the channel, and I was thinking once I hit 5,000 subscribers, I'm thinking about doing a giveaway thing. So having some community things, not necessarily 3D printed, I thought was a nice idea for that. We go to, oops, Cactato Coffee. Where, last time I searched for this, it came up as one of the, there we go. Just cactatocoffee.com. Just a Voron community member that does something outside, like Pex Peppers, Cactato Coffee. There's the I'm Print 3D. He's printing the manuals now. That kind of stuff is kind of cool. So there's nothing. I got a couple of small samples to try it, but nothing else has come my way on this. So that's just a seems like a cool person. Just send that out there. Check it out. So the stuff that I have tried is the Guatemala dark roast and the Ethiopia Yergashefe, I have no idea, light roast. I like the Guatemalan. Anyway, let's close that and go back here. How are you not at 5K yet? I think there's a few factors. I don't turn on ads, so YouTube doesn't have a incentive to show my videos, my live streams, and all I do is live streams. So whatever, I'll get there. I figure it's about a month away at the current rate. Why is their logo a picture of the arrow? I didn't notice that. Hey, Hendrik. Wait, I can get a printed manual. Blake, go to the Voron Discord and look in the vendor promotions. You might have to scroll up. There's a person. They made the custom badges. We did some stickers, the custom badges for the show, that kind of stuff. We purchased through them. We had a pretty cool. The booth there, I mean, if anybody saw the tablecloths, they made those, and a bunch of stickers that were there. Let's just skip that word. What word? I don't know. I've been unboxing. Nice to hear there's some Voron guys here in Hey, Benny. Scott, how's that V0 doing? We're running the Easy board off the Flyzetic with the onboard CPU. We're running the, I don't know what that means. Hey, Steven. Just saw that time moved. I didn't realize I could just get them myself. Yeah, they're available, and they're surprisingly inexpensive. Oh, so the QR code is the Discord link. So 100% done and got your cereal already. Congratulations. You all look like an actual vendor. It was a lot of fun. For being, I mean, like, you know, not a company in that sense. So Jokernut. Member for 3 months, thank you. Okay, so we mounted that. Now this is going to, so let's talk about the mounting a bit. So I downloaded the 3030 and printed the 3030 mounts. I think they go, here, let me see. Probably shift this over and do like this. And these go up here, like this. I'll somewhere about that. Now these have a heat set spot on the back, and the board mounts behind it like that. So these go here. There's some feet that go on the bottom like this with some heat certs, and there's little screw knobs so you can adjust the angle of these. So this snaps in, and we'll figure all of this out in detail here in a minute, but these threaded knobs go in like that, and then that's gonna hold. Heat set here for the mount for this, and we'll get that figured out. You managed to scan that QR code of the little bit that I put on screen? Nice. Hey, Andrew. Got the V0 kit I bought at Murph, already assembled and up for serial. That's quick. Is that as quick as Alex's build, though? Can figure out how to mount mine to the V0. Yeah, that would be interesting. Patrick, thanks for the gifted memberships. Okay, so we got a bunch of heat sets to put in, so let's do that. I kind of want to get this mocked up on the printer so I can get a better feel for where the wires are going and how long they need to be. So heat sets, I printed what it said was 3 of these, but I don't need that because I've got such a short ERCF. There's only two brackets here. Heat sets. Hey KB3D, welcome. Haven't even opened your kits. Come on, Tony, get on it. Get that TPU V0 going. We got to see it work. Alex worked you under the table. Oh yeah, you and I apologize. I don't remember the name of the other gentleman that was helping him build that. But that honestly was a highlight of my Murph, was watching the concentration and dedication that Alex had to that build and how much fun he seemed to be having. So. Oh, Physetic makes a version of the Easy Board called the Burrow Board. It has onboard 2209 drivers and a CPU. No Arduino. I saw does that have the Raspberry 2040 on it or something? Patrick, probably costing so close to getting the V0 kit at Murph, but a few hundred short, yeah. Okay, so let's get these heat sets on. Go ahead and heat up the iron. Let's just go here. Let's see if there's a... I'm really wanting the mini stealth burner. The mini stealth burner is about at least 10 times easier to assemble than mini afterburner. That's the highlight of that is the assembly ease. So much better. Nemgria did a great job at adjusting that to improve it over afterburner. So I got the Mandela kit and mag bed. Yeah, I used the Mandela mag bed on a couple of my V0s. Is Charlie an always indoor cat? My 2 outdoor cats are garage cat this week because of fireworks. So we acquired 2 cats. Charlie and his litter mate, her name was Lola, in 2007. It was like fall of 2007 that we got them. Very shortly, within a day or two, we discovered that Lola is deaf. So right there at that point, it meant that both cats were going to be indoor only cats with zero access to outside. So we lost Lola about 6 years ago. But Charlie, having spent most of his life indoors, we have not changed that. He has gotten out a couple of times. He just got out the other day, and he doesn't like to be out for very long. He gets scared. So, okay, so here is the wire routing. So I'm gonna want to look at that a little closer here in a bit. But I wanted to look at the mounts. I thought there was some, which direction do these heat sets go? I guess it doesn't matter. We'll just put them in. See you, Joseph. Thanks for being here. This is on and hot. And where are my glasses? There they are. Oh. Oops. Sorry about that. I created a mess. The camera fell over right into the heat set box. Okay. Yep. So just those 4, and then 2 in these other mounts. And this is for the easy board to mount to. And I'm hoping that the spacing is correct. Where'd the other piece go? Did it go flying somewhere? Oh, it's up here. What do we have? Cat hair all over. Cat hair everywhere. Charlie, get out. Freedom, horrible, horrible. Yes. That's exactly. He's curious to go outside, and usually I'm right there, but he got out on his own, and I heard some scratching at the front door, and he was desperately trying to get back in the house. Thoughts about the Annex ERCF and the Annex Basel nozzle, or whatever the nozzle is called. I saw the ERCF, or the equivalent at Murph, but I didn't get a close up. I didn't get to kind of check it out. I don't know exactly what's different about it. I thought it looked cool, but I have no idea what the specifics of it are. So, had a cat that started as an outdoor cat, went to indoor cat for years when he got tore up pretty good. Yeah. Well, Charlie got out one time. It was just like less than a year ago. He got into the backyard and got in a fight with a neighborhood cat, and he got a little poke in his paw that got infected, or in his leg that got infected. So I think that's part of his extra fear of being outside now. When is the step when they make the RCF enraged? I don't think it's possible to make RCF enraged. Maybe annoyed, but not enraged. The chameleon looked neat and super compact too. That was one of the booths that I regret not spending any time at. I didn't even notice it there. I didn't spend any time looking at the chameleon stuff. I spent some time talking to the Jubilee, a person with the Jubilee there, and most other booths, but there are a few that I missed. Gary, thanks for the gifted memberships. Okay, so these are together. So let's see here. How do I want to arrange this? Let me put these filament spools back. this stuff out of the way. That. So, I think let's do some readjusting here. Our Maine Coon was allowed outdoors till the neighbors complained that he was killing everything. Spent the last 9 years of his life indoors looking out the window with murderous intent. Maine Coons are big cats, or can be. Okay, so I need some T-nuts, some 30-30 T-nuts. 2020, where are the 30-30s I have? Give me a moment. Where did those go? M5 30-30 T-nuts. No, they're right here. There they are. Okay. Okay. Let's see how this is going to go. I think this needs to go from the front, but I'm not. This has the heat set on the back, and I think I want the board on the back, so I don't think we're going to be in the way of I think we're going to barely miss the belts here. So what size are these? Are these, yep, M5 by 16s. Some more fasteners out here. That's gonna go right there. Tighten all of this loosely. Hey, Honored Twig, welcome. Let's put this out this way. Oh, maybe I wanted it the other way. Just for lining up. Where'd you go? There we are. Am I missing anything here? There we are. Sorry I'm late. Was there a Trident update already? No, we have not heard. There has been a claim filed. Honestly, I'm not super optimistic about recovering the Trident. I hope we do, but there was some insurance on it. That doesn't help with the amount of time and effort into that, and it's unfortunate for it to be lost, but it's got to move on. I'm not quite sure which way these go, so I'm just experimenting with this. I think I'll only. There we go. Now I opted for the mounts for the no enclosure, at least for the foreseeable bit of using this. I'm not going to try to enclose it. I want to have access to everything. I may enclose it later, but we'll see. The really odd thing about that being gone is how the acrylic plate that the shipping label was on, it was inside of the shipping container had, it was or the flight case was made up most of plywood and it had metal brackets on the corner, and in the top of the lid was a recessed metal bracket that acrylic plate was set in. So I guess it's possible that some other package grabbed the corner of that and broke that label out, and then once it's separated, they don't know where it came from. I guess they're not allowed to use their brains to see where this fits, but maybe that's what happened. Maybe I don't know. Jason, looked like UPS can't find the trident. Thank you for the super chat there, Jason. Looks like UPS can't find the trident, and I only put $1,000 on the value. They need me to input a claim form now. Not any sign they're gonna find it for us. Well, I have some hope that some UPS contacts might be able to help with that, but that's a very, very, very slight hope. Okay, this is going up here. It was another highlight. I've worked with Jason so much lately. It was so nice to meet him and Cameron. Okay, so now these guys, so this is gonna go, let's see. Got the ERCF, that's gonna go right like that. I'm pretty close on my width here. I might be correct. That'd be amazing. This one goes here. We're just gonna go vertical to start with. This, I mean, horizontal to start with. Did you put a spare shipping label into the package? I did not. I mean, I'm not used to doing this stuff. It did say Murph LDO booth 5 to 6 elsewhere on the package, but all the suggestions I've gotten, putting an air tag in it, all this other stuff are great suggestions. We just didn't do it. I'll learn for next time, if there is a next time. Okay, so that's there, and let's see how close I am actually to these being. Oh, I'm not quite there. They need to move over a bit. Let's loosen. Fairly centered, but. So that's gonna go like that. Some M3x8s, I'm guessing. This ends up being tall. Where does that go in? Maybe it's not in 3x8s. Let's go 12s. 3x12s will work. Well, seem a little long, but that's fine. Now, I printed the ERCF before I knew what printer I was going to put on here, so that's why I picked the red and black theme. I might have printed it in orange if I had decided which printer I was putting it on. Ooh. And it looks like I've only got a couple of inches below my rep rack over here, my filament solution. You feeling back to normal, Jason? I imagine you're gonna be at ERCF if you're still here. You're still here. You going to ERCF? Okay. I think we need even a little taller. Yeah, see, there's not It's just a couple inches there. That'll be fine. Now these should be able to loosen. And that can be angled. Like that. And then I can center this thing somewhat. Tighten this. There we go. Now my concern, one concern I have with this, if I was to do it with the enclosure, is this angle here getting into the slot and not binding up. So that's one reason that I'm just gonna go unenclosed to start with on this. But that's like that. And I am completely off on the spacing for the, here. I'm completely off for the spacing for this easy board. So this has got to go in there. So that can't angle back that much. Why are we so far back on? Oh, I'm not far back. I wasn't caught up. I don't know what happened. I missed a lot of stuff. I would make these too long. Mr. Clown, you're absolutely right. I need to remember. What truly, if anything, would be annoying me is the printer wasn't even seasoned, maybe a little less sting had it aged and well used. Yeah. What orange is that? This is Paramount orange, ASA. It is very UV reactive. Villain, I'm sorry if I'm kind of lost, but I thought Stealth Burner was not ready yet to ERCF because of the filament sensor was not at it. Again, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not using the Clockwork 2 that goes along with Stealth Burner. I'm using a Galileo extruder on this. Yes, you guys got it covered. Jason, LDO Trident kit production, first batch update, 200 kits in production, and should be ready to ship by the end of July. That's awesome. If everything is smooth, I should release document price to seller on Monday, July 4th, so they can pre-order. And thank you for the 20, Jason. Hey, Tunke. So this is angled back too far. So there's two things I have going on here. This is angled back too far for me to actually get this in here. So let's figure out what the maximum angle I can mount this at and not interfere. So that's gonna bolt in right there. Probably about there is where I'd want to be. So I'm gonna, oh, let's see if it'll go right there. No, that interferes with any heat sink. So I'm gonna have to go horizontal on this, just completely horizontal is where this is gonna have to be. So that's gonna help with wire lengths. And then I need to put the other foot here because then I don't have a place to mount the other side. So I think I have the printed parts to be able to put another foot here. Hi, Bear Squad. So that's gonna have to be completely horizontal. And then we're going to add another, looks like a good one. I think that's gonna go on there, something like that. And we'll get it on there after. And then good thing I printed an extra, oh crap, I didn't print an extra one of these. So I'm gonna have to do that later, but I've got all these pieces. That's a little odd because that's not going to fit there. Maybe, no, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to figure something out. Maybe I'll do a little custom piece here. Or maybe I'll leave this off and I'll just modify one of these to just be the other side of mounting this. Because I don't really need another support here. I only have 4 positions. So kind of thinking of this as we go along. I think I'm just going to print a little mount for the other side of this easy board and call it good. You could tilt forward. Remember, you're feeding from your box down and the input lines are all at the rear. That's true. However, I'm concerned about the angle if I feed down, the bends going into the tool head, especially as I get to a higher Z values and the weird path that the feed tube is going to take. So I think I'll just make a little extra, a little custom bracket here. Or I can move this down to the extrusion and then I can angle this however I want and really keep things out of the way. That might be, I think there's even an alternate bracket here to just mount this down here. That might be the better idea. Why can't the easy board mount to the ERCF? There's nowhere up here to mount it, and keeping it out of the way of everything that has to go on up here. Put a loop in it, maybe. Gary, keep up the great content. Thank you. I think I'm going to go with the direct extrusion mount, and I might be able to kind of cobble that together right now for this. Yep. I've got some pre-install M3 3030 T-nuts. Let's put these guys in here. And then bet you an M3x8 will be fine. Now there's not quite enough width on this printed part for this to be great, but it's going to be fine for what we're doing right now. So that's going to go there. And that's going to go like that. And we've got it placed. And if I ever decide to enclose this again, I'll have to figure out something else. But that's what we call the future me problem, right? Also think of Tri-Zero at the same time. Tri-Zero looks cool. Our upcoming project here is going to be solid fork though on this channel. So next we're gonna finish this. Hopefully, I'm optimistic that maybe a long stream next weekend, but maybe get this thing working next weekend and then move on to the ender to switch wire conversion next. And then after that is a solid fork. Speaking of the ender to switch wire conversion, those of you that watched live or after the members only stream, here's the part. I printed the part that we modified. So this sits here. If we imagine the ender has a 40/40 rail here. There are two MGN12s on either side in the design that I'm going to use. This bolts across between those, across that extrusion and the MGN12s. The design as provided, this is one piece. And I didn't really like that because if anything is off, you're gonna put weird forces on those MGN12 carriages and they may not move smooth. So we split it on the members only stream, went into CAD and split it and gave about a 0.5 millimeter of adjustment there. And we'll see how that works out. But that's the piece that I printed it. That's the piece that we tweaked. Jason, $10, thank you. So first batch of LDO Trident kit is 300 cube, and the LDO is also preparing some upgrade parts, taller Z motor and taller Z extrusion, so any regular 300 size could upgrade to 300 cube. So an upgrade kit for 250 to 300Z on a 300 build, which is rails, Z steppers, and panels, right? And extrusions, of course, the corner extrusions and the rear center extrusion. Can anyone share a link or query term for solid fork? That's the first time I've heard of it. Yeah, we can pull that up, Derek. Here, let's try something. Printers for ants. We go to printers for ants. I think we can find it there. Solid fork. And there you go. That is the solid fork. It is a 1515 extrusion version of the Trident. Hey, Jose. Hey, NH3D. Depending on how my brew day goes, I may start my solid fork tonight. If not, likely start next Sunday night. Awesome. Have fun with it. Are you going to use a Triano? I'm using the mod that's based on Trianos. Big solid fork or mini Trident to make sure a Fusion mini bed currently gathering dust. A Prusa mini bed. So I think solid fork's pretty close to being able to use that bed on its own. You might want to reach out to Yuri. Speaking of, Yuri's here. I need to update that GitHub page image with the latest. Yes. Other update is LDO started working with Heart K for Micron 160. Should begin with frame kit, motor kit, linear rail kit, and then maybe a bomb kit. Awesome. I heard about that. Okay, we need to make progress here but that's what I expected this stream to be. It's been 2 weeks and lots happening in between. What is that? Ludwig was asking, what is the total height of a 300 cubed? I can I get that easily? Let me see. I can help with that question. So a 250 height is right under 600 millimeters tall. So it's going to be about 650 millimeters tall. Total height for the printer. About 650 millimeters tall. It's just a hair under that. Extra connector. There is an extra connector available on the board. This one is not used in a classic configuration. One can use it for the tool head sensor if the wiring seems easier. It does not. Hey, BBs. Is there, oh, I'm gonna go back up here. So the next thing I wanna do is start working on this. So this is going to be fun. Let's take these off. So let's get some, we'll just go extra. Oh, let's see if I can get this. The angle is not quite, oops. Ah, no, that's not what I want to do. Okay, it's getting confused. It's trying to tighten no matter what I do, and the angle isn't right. So I tried, but the angle's not right for this. Does your repo have the updated printer parts for the 300 cube Trident? Mine would not. So remember, the spec build for Trident is still a 250Z. LDO is doing that as an added value for their kits. So anything specific, however, I don't know, there aren't any specific as far as the Z height. There are no special parts, but anything specific to an LDO kit is going to be on their docs.ldomotors.com site. But just off the top of my head, I don't think there are any parts that, because of the 300 height, change. Printed parts anyway. I tried to use it. That angle was not good. Okay, so we have on here the servo, and we have a sensor here. How does this all go? Is there some? So we have an optical sensor here, which needs 3 wires going through a little channel right here up to this. And then the servo wires are also going to go up to this, and they're going to need to be extended. I think some zip ties right there will keep that out of the way. The only real change would be a possible wiring, linear rails, frame, and lead screws. The wiring is one that's definitely a consideration, because 50 millimeters is a bit. If your wiring is not, if you don't have some slack in your wiring, you might have trouble with that. They don't actually show, where'd my mouse go? They don't actually show the sensor in here. Is that the encoder? Where is the encoder in the instructions? Did I miss it up here? That's a tool head. The filament sensor. It's starting to get warm in here. I might turn my AC on. Does anybody know if I missed the wires for the encoder? This guy here, it's right behind this panel. You know what the pinout is on that. We did the belt, did all of this. All that manual screwdriving is making me sweat. This is true. I don't remember there being this guy here. I don't remember there being a pin out here. What's this? Sensor pins. Delicately straighten the sensor pins using pliers, which we did. What is the pin out for that? This is a TCRT 5000 sensor. It's a little further, I think, past where I was. Okay. Let's go back down there. Forgive the scrolling. This is all configuration stuff. Dustin, thanks for becoming a member. Yeah, this is where I was, and there's no indication of pinout for that encoder sensor. Well, it's not quite true. If you look at the, I don't know if I can get an angle. It's labeled on the board, so we're gonna go with that. Let's see what it actually says. We have out, VCC, and ground. Okay, so let's get some wire and start doing that. It's labeled on there, so that's good enough. We will move forward. That's gonna go through and around and under. So what just what do we have? There we go. There's some stepper wiring that'll do the trick. I like reusing the offcuts, especially seeing as I can get some different colors, especially when I don't need them to be super long. I think this is going to be just enough. Yep, this will be fine. So I'm just going to untwist this. Oh, Charlie wants out. Go, 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 go. My solid fork, when I build it, will be a 120 build because it's mostly self-sourced and I'm cutting the extrusions myself. And I just kind of like the idea of the small build. Okay, so I'm gonna grab, let's go black, green, and red for this. Trying to get these all separated. Has anybody seen that nozzle swapping rotor from Big Brain 3D for the Prusa? Yep, I saw the video on it. There we go, finally. I'm just gonna cut this off. I'll recover the connector later. I'm just gonna cut that off right now. And I don't need the blue. Decided not to use the blue. Then this is a DuPont connector. Hopefully we can get that fit. More excited about the LDO video with the drop-in 1515 nuts. Yeah, so ages ago, when I built my first V0, where are they? Here we go. I had taken some of these super cheap zinc-plated square nuts. And if you grab these with some pliers and cut a kind of angles into the sides, you can get these to drop into an LDO 1515. You cannot do that with the Maker Beam 1515. So having someone producing those is going to be pretty handy because I know it works. I know it works. Derek, question. What do you use to cut the aluminum extrusions, especially the 4040s? I have not cut 4040s. I have a miter saw. I have a table saw with a very a fancy crosscut sled. I'm expecting to use my table saw with the crosscut sled to cut the 1515. This stuff is going to turn into my solid fork, and it's the maker beam profile. But I bought these 1 meter extrusions when V0 was first announced over 2 years ago. And then I ended up with an LDO blue frame for my build. So I never used those. So they're gonna turn into a solid fork and get used. Steve, do you know of a way to get a filament sensor for the V0 that could work with the ERCF? I don't know. Saw or table saw with a sled with an aluminum blade works well. Yeah, and I have an actual aluminum blade, although it's not 100% required, but I will be using that. And Charlie wants in. Come on. Not gonna wait for you. There you go. Okay. Those and those. I took my magnifier glasses to Murph and was very glad that I did. I used them a few times. I just can't see that close up, and I refuse to do bifocals. Oh, shouldn't have switched yet. I need to actually crimp. The LDO filament sensor and orbiter V2 should be supported. Good. One. And a 2. And a 3. Okay. Will mini stealth burner have an ERCF sensor option? I don't think out of the gate, but I don't know. Time to install a cat flap so Charlie has similar freedoms to Fat Charlie. Yeah, the door between here and there, except when I'm streaming, we just leave that door open. So it's not worth it. To get all exact lengths the same, cut piece a little long and then clamp them together as a bundle and cut them all in one cut. What are we talking about? Just for these wires? I'll cut them at the end. Andy Hutchins, $10. Thank you. Hey, Steve, just got my V0 up and running. Your videos were so helpful. Doing its first print now. Awesome. Quite a speed jump over the Mark III just using stock super slicer profiles. It's a token of my appreciation. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm glad you're having fun with that. Oh, to get them the same length. You're talking about the... I don't like to cut in a bundle. I think I'm going to use a stop. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I can adjust. I'm good at adjusting. I get it. Okay, let's put this away. And this is going to, I'm going to put this like here. This is going to have to, how does this come out of here? Does that actually come out? It should. There we go. That took a bit. Got caught on some little extra plastic there. There we go. So I think I'm going to put that on there like that, which means we need ground in the end. Ground And then power in the center, VCC in the center, and data on the end. And then this is gonna go like that. So because we bent these pins up, you notice that they end up being a little long. So I'm gonna cut those down and hope that's okay. I'm gonna cut these down by just a couple of millimeters. That way this connector can sit. Oh, and I was short by a millimeter. So another millimeter, so about 3 millimeters shorter is what I needed to make these. Now that can plug in all the way and just barely leave enough room to put the magnet thing back there. Hi, Sean. I have a sliding table with a precise adjustment for the stop. It works well, but most don't have those goodies. Yeah, I'll probably clamp a stop in place just to make sure. Sebastian, €5. How do Voron enclosures handle a cat jumping on them? I'm asking on behalf of 3 furry housemates. From the pictures I've seen, they handle it fine. Charlie has only slept on top of a printer of mine once. So, move this down a little bit. What kind of connector is that you're using? It's just a DuPont connector because it's not a polarized connector on the optical sensor. So it's just a DuPont connector. And then I'm gonna run the wires through this channel. I think that's gonna be tough to get on camera, so I'm just gonna run them one at a time. And hope they stay in there. Push them in with some tweezers or something. Ah, that's gonna be a pain, I think. Hi, John. Okay, so. And then that one. I don't know what I'm gonna do about keeping that in there. Because the wires I decided to use here are a little, are just PTFE wires. And the tabs are not quite, there's little printed tabs in the part. They're not quite enough to keep them in there. What can I do? Maybe I can grab a piece. Maybe I can grab some pieces of silicone wire. Where do I have that? Silicone wire. I don't want to do super glue yet. What in the world? I did not pin that message. I did not pin that message. I have nowhere near anything to have pinned that. Why is that pinned? That's really weird. I did not do that. I stuck a piece of filament in there. That's probably not a bad idea. I'm hoping the kind of the stickiness and the many pieces of silicone wire I have here will do the trick. So I'm just gonna grab a little piece of that and see what happens. But I did not pin that message. How did that happen? I have a Precision Matthews lathe and mill. No room for big wood saw anymore. I would love to have a mill. I have a little tiny lathe that pinned while I was at the shelf. That's really weird. I don't think moderators can pin messages either. Okay, so I'm gonna cut a little piece of this and see if I can wedge this in there to hold the wires in. That looks okay so far. Not a lot of room here. So that one's in. That one's in. That's the green wire. Definitely not a lot of space here. Okay, take this. And the belt's in the way and everything's in the way. Let's see if I can push that in there. It's pushing in okay. I don't know how long term this will work, but it's in there. This goes right there. It's just not quite right. Nope. That one's going to be a pain. I don't want to do super glue. Not yet. Okay, I think that'll be okay. My brother has a saw stop saw. I should get one. Be good to yourself, buy some quality multifocal glasses. FX Zeiss, and you will be surprised by what you could live without. That you could live without. I'll have to. Are those prescription? I'm assuming. So those are wedged in there and holding things okay right now. I think if I take that and the servo wire now and you grab a zip tie. Grab a zip tie. You get seamless bifocals, not bad at all. I may end up having to check something out. Might have to give in. Okay, let's see if we can get those to hold in. Right there. guess. I guess that'll be fine. Okay, so wires going through there, coming down through this channel with some silicone wire wedged in there so I don't have to do anything else, with the connector right there. And then the servo wire, I'm going to have to extend. I'm not super thrilled with that. How am I going to extend that effectively? I may cut it right here and put a connector. That way I'm not soldering wires where it might bend. Because I guess I could solder right there and it's not in a path where it's bending. Yeah, maybe I'll do that just at the very end, because this part doesn't bend. So I think I'll be safe having a solder joint right here. So extending the servo wires. Do I have more servo wire? Trying to match the colors. Yeah, Charlie here. Do I have a servo wire I've cut off of something? So brown, red, orange, basically. Hey, Golden Jaguar, welcome. Servo extension cable may fit in there. I don't have one. So we're gonna have to extend it. I don't have one, and that 7mm cable chain is pretty small. I think I will just extend it with some regular PTFE wire. See what I have here. Just grab some of this, I guess. Tony, yeah. Male DuPont pins and a 3-pin housing. I don't think there's not enough room to put this. There's actually not enough room to put this connector as it is through this cable chain. So it needs to come off anyway. Just cut that off and I'll recycle that later. And then I need to extend these. So a little bit of, I'm just gonna solder and extend. And because the joint is gonna end up about here, it's never gonna bend. So see, that part doesn't move. So I'm hoping it'll be okay. So these wires are all long enough to make it through to the controller, no problem. So now we just need to work on these. So I'm going to pull these back and I'm going to cut them at some interval here. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I don't have three joints stacking up in one spot. I stagger the joints and this bundle of solder connections will take up less space. How do you keep track of all your colors? Do you use those filament cards, and how many do you think you'd have are all different flavors? Oh, I don't keep track. I just look at my shelf. I mean, they're all on display. That's a lot of my filament. I just look, I know that's all ABS. I have PLA in this cabinet here. And then I have another thing of filament up there. That's all ABS. Here in the civilized world, we just go to the shop and they will spend 1 hour of your life, take a measure of your eyes, and order some lenses made especially for you. Yeah, and I have good eye insurance. I've just been hesitant to do bifocals. Okay. I'm going to use, I guess, black, red, and blue here. It doesn't really matter as long as I know which one is power, ground, and signal. Oh, so this printer here, Steven, is not peeled because this is one of the commission builds. So I don't want to accidentally scratch the panels for one, and I'll let them do the peel. Okay, so that, let me grab my solder. And let me hook up my fan. So bear with me, sorry. Going to set up a fan. So that I'm not directly breathing these solder fumes. Plus, it's going to bring that slightly cooler outside air in here. There we go. Oh, I can feel that too. Okay, let's take this and strip. This is tiny wire. And this wire is just a little thicker, but it'll be fine. Then swap the tip, increase the temperature, cool. My Ford boy is the guy that does the home foundry stuff. I remember my Ford boy from some, what is it, some Prusa 3D printing content or Crealities, one of those. Hey, Anscar. Okay, that is hot. Some solder. Switch glasses again and tin the end of these wires. We do this. Here we go. Yeah, the insulation on this servo wire sucks. It melts back. It means it's a PVC insulation, right? This PTFE insulation doesn't melt back like that. Do. Okay. Heat shrink. A bunch of little small size stuff here. I think will work well for this. This is too small. No, this will work. 3 pieces of this. And then 1 larger piece to go around the whole thing, I think. Try that. Okay, I don't need to. Let's grab some helping hands. That'll be good enough. What is going on here? Something, does anybody have any idea? And no, absolutely no offense to Steve here, Steve Tufnell. I did not make Steve Tufnell a mod. I did not do that. I did not pin the message before. What, does anybody have any idea? No offense, Steve. I'm sure you're, I mean, I'm not even gonna change it. I don't, it's fine. Maybe I will later. I don't know. But what is going on? I think I'm going to check in because I didn't do either of these things, and they're things that only I should be able to do. Other mods can't do that. That is very odd. And this is a fairly sterile computer here. That's got me really annoyed and very little on edge. I do have 2-factor authentication enabled. I do. See ya, Mitchell. Let me do that just to see what happens. Okay, that's got me kind of, I don't know what I can do without ending the stream. I don't want to end the stream. So it's got me extra on edge because about a year ago, I did have a major attack on my accounts. Interestingly, it was the day that we released Trident. That was the most stressful morning, getting ready for Trident and dealing with several of my accounts being hijacked on that day. I've had continuing like attempts, but everything has been 2-factor authentication, complex password, all of that since. So as far as I know, until today, things have not been compromised. But now this has me really worried. I have 2-factor authentication enabled. And I haven't sold any devices. I haven't gotten rid of any devices. If you guys wouldn't mind, let me Nathan's suggestion here. Let me see. Let Let me see if I can find, it's on a different screen here, so bear with me. But I want to look at signed in devices. This is a little disconcerting. I don't have anything that's not listed as my location here. Everything that says it has a session open is from my location. What did DJ Natty say? There have been some cases of hijacked Google YouTube sessions recently caused by malicious browser extensions or sites. Two-factor authentication doesn't really help against that, only disconnecting all devices from the account. Okay. I don't have any browser. Oh, I mean, ad blocker is the only browser extension I have. The only one. If they clone your tokens for your active stream, then they could bypass 2FA. So do I have to change the token for the stream? I did not use a Wi-Fi. Well, I used a closed non-internet access Wi-Fi at Murph, or I used my phone hotspot. I didn't use other sessions. Carl, VPN sponsorship incoming. That's funny because I actually got an email that it got filtered into junk, but about a VPN sponsorship. Okay, well, I think I know what I'm doing the rest of the day, but for now, let's just continue and kind of monitor what's going on here. That's concerning though. Okay, let's heat this back up. Oh, I've streamed, disable the whole PC. Yeah, I'm going to log out every account, and I'm going to change my password even so, and I'm going to change the token between OBS and YouTube. Okay. One of our YouTube accounts recently fell for that because an external uploader with low rights had his session stolen. I haven't clicked on anything. I'm pretty conscious of what sites I visit in general. I really don't know where this might have come from. But I'll just clear everything, redo everything, and hope that takes care of it. I don't want to pause the stream and interrupt that. Do I have a designated person on YouTube? No, I just got regular support avenues. I'm not gonna deal with this. We've got probably another hour here, and then and then I'll deal with it. So this is going to come around here now and here, and then come down to here. So I think that's probably enough wire. Yeah, it's got to be something's compromised. That's got to be it. Source of it and what, I don't know, but just go through and reset everything right after stream. Update your router and look for something called Rat's Nest router breach. Netgear and some other brands most common. I'm using the Amplify Alien router. So it looks like when I try to gift memberships, my payment methods are okay, but when I try to do a super chat, they are grayed out. Could this be part of the issue? I don't know. See ya, James. I don't know. Okay, let's heat shrink these. So I just put some heat shrink tubing on here, and then I'm gonna put one bundle over the whole thing just to keep everything together. They can do with the YouTube channel whether they want, so they uploaded scam videos on ours. Let me look at my dashboard and see if anything's weird here. Derek, super chat works for me. Thank you. I'm just checking my general things. I don't see anything immediately weird. No new weird videos. Let me finish this. John's turn, thank you. Super chat works here too. Any weird video seen here, just usual. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna put some faith in anything that might happen can be corrected. We don't have that much longer on this stream anyway. I want to make some progress here. I appreciate everybody's willingness to. I just think if I end the stream, it's probably going to be, it'll be the end of, I won't be coming back. So let's just finish this off. We're good. I'm going to put some faith in that anything that might be going on can be corrected. So I'm putting one piece over this whole thing just to help strengthen it. Hi, Steve. What did I miss? Something about a comment being pinned or something? I had a comment pinned and a moderator added. I have no idea. Okay, so these, and then I want to do one more thing because I'm starting to get wires that are bundled. So let's label them. What is going on? This is my son outside. He's getting ready to mow the lawn. Oh, so now Now Steven's a mod. I don't know. Okay, let's delete all this stuff. Oh, might as well go here. Can you guys hear the lawnmower going in the background? That is interesting that it's Steve's. Tetsu, I made a mod. Hey Tetsu. Can you hear the noise gate is taking care of it? Okay, good. Okay, servo and encoder. Let's just spell it out. Might as well. Servo. And print. Hey Nero. So Taylor, I have had a message pinned and 2 moderators added without me doing it on this stream. I've had a message pinned and 2 moderators added. Both moderators are named Steve. So I'm a little discombobulated right now. I did unmod. I did. I wanted to see what would happen. Just a random message. There was nothing about it. It was just someone's random comment. I should go through here and see keep seeing what happens. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, so I got servo and encoder. So this is the encoder. Do you have any moderators in the stream today? I do. Tetsu is here. I never made Nero a moderator apparently, unless someone removed it. I thought I had. So got Nero and Tetsu are here as moderators. I don't remember either, but you are now. That one was me. That one was me. And we're just going to partially shrink these, or mostly shrink them. There we go. Yeah. It's really weird. It started with that pin, and then we've had two people set to moderator. There, I'm going to I'm pretty paranoid, but I'm also figuring right now or half an hour from now isn't going to make too big of a difference. Okay, so I'm just going to straighten that out to make this a little easier to run. Okay, where's some PTFE tube? Let's do this. see how many of these we can. You know what? I know it's PTFE and it's probably, it might not work, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, I added narrow as a mod. I tend to add the Voron team by default. Let's see if I can just do this as tape. To pull all that group together. There we go. Good. What do we got? Anyways, just popping in because I heard something broke and wanted to see if I could help. See you, Nero. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Nuno. Is your phone near me? Yeah, it's in my pocket. Oh, shit. My phone was unlocked in my pocket. My phone was unlocked in my pocket. My phone was unlocked in my pocket. That is some very specific touching on the screen. I'm just gonna let that sink in for a bit. Screen towards my body. Am I red? I feel a little flushed. I don't know what to say. Why was it just Steve's? Why was it just Steve's? And why was it a I can see the random comment getting pinned. Yes, chat was on the phone screen. You know what's really weird about that? Is I don't use the YouTube app on here. So it had to have been unlocked, hit the right number of things to get into the app. I mean, I have it here, but I didn't open it before stream or anything. Wow. Wow. Language? What did I say? I don't think I said anything. Maybe I did. I don't know. Premium Bot Entertainment. Thanks, Thomas. It might have launched with a notification. That you might have pressed notification that you went live on the phone. It very well might be. But holy moly. I'm not going to live that down, am I? I'm not going to live that down. Where did my water go? Oh, it's hilarious. I am absolutely laughing. It's just, I can't believe that. The specific spots that would need to be touched to do that. Oh, I'm so grateful that seems to be the most likely. But who would have thought that? Come on. I pulled my phone out of my pocket to see, and I noticed the YouTube screen was up. I do feel a lot of relief. Huge. Okay, let me grab my water because my throat's getting a little dry. Give me just a second. Stream, but I left the cup in the other room. Oh. Hi, Mehmet. Here, you know what? That's gonna sit right over there. Not even in my pocket now. Oh, I'd rather this happen than to eat a grub screw. That looked painful. Hey, Kilo. Welcome. You missed all the fun. I thought I was hacked. Turned out it was my pocket. Yeah. Okay, let's get back. I heard about fun. I got a bit of fun to return to in Discord. I don't know. I'm happy it turns out to have not been anything. And I don't feel too bad for not knowing that. Who would have thought of that? Someone did. Someone said check my phone. But still. Okay, so I'm hoping at this point that Peacemaker just hasn't spoke up in chat and this isn't a new mod. I'm hoping that happened sometime during the Pocket incident. But that breaks the Steve trend. Oh shit. Steve, okay, let me double check. I don't want to have banned Steve Tufnell. I unmodded, but Peacemaker, can you say anything? Steven can. Just making sure. Yeah, I'm checking my mod list right now. I don't want to. Give me a minute. Where is that? I always get channel. Where do I find that? Customization and where is that? Peacemaker. Okay, good. Steve, where is the moderator list? Permissions? No. Oh, there we are. Okay, so banned user or hidden users. Video isn't good. It does not appear that I hid or banned anybody in that little thing. So Kilo, thanks for becoming a member. Jokernut, test super chat. Had to re-add payment method. Thank you, Jokernut. Appreciate that. Okay, let's get back to this now. Unless anything else comes up, we can bounce back and forth, right? Just as scattered as usual. Okay, so one more run of wires. Let's grab another piece of tape since that worked pretty well. Nathan Chu. Oh, Nathan. Thanks, Nathan. You're the one that said thanks, that checked my phone. I appreciate that. That was really weird still. There is a very specific, very odd set of things that had to happen to make that go like that. Remember I said the first pin message was when you were over at the shelf? It happened when you were moving around. Yeah. There we go. Pull those out. Okay, so wires are through here. Are those the only wires that go up through here? I hope so. I think they're the only things that are attached on the carriage here, so I think we're good. Let's put these back in. Should stop the stream right now and go get a lottery ticket. That never works. You know, I wait long enough in between playing the lottery that I hope for beginner's luck every time, because it's like maybe once a year, probably more like once every few years. It doesn't work. I keep hoping that beginner's luck resets. It doesn't. See you, Stefan. Have a good night. Steve's pre-stream checklist, remove phone from pocket. That's absolutely true. That's now on my list of things to do. Pre-stream. Remove phone from pocket. Jokernut, Steve builds. I'm about to pull the trigger on ERCF and can't decide between 6 or 9 carts. Are there any advantages of one or the other? Great series. Also for your AC fund. Thank you. $10. I would say between 6 or 9. Do you expect to need 9? Because I imagine the complication increases some amount. Probably not, whatever, 30% more or whatever. But or just lock the phone. Yeah, but I can't trust that I'm gonna do that every time. If I just don't have the phone on me, because I don't need to see my phone when I'm streaming. I don't need it anywhere around me. So it's safer to just not have it on me. Cell phone never does cool things like that. It only starts talking while I'm working, trying to help fix tech issues. Siri or Google Assistant or whatever starts chiming in. Thought DFH recommended multiples of 2 for some reason. I would check with Ed, see what he recommends. Yeah, where are you gonna put all those spools? Okay, so all of these are gonna go down there, so that's good. Now let's go back to the instructions. I think it was up right here. So that's that's the back. I'm gonna need to, okay. So another zip tie. Next stream will be Steve Gold's trying to find his phone after he can't remember where he put it. That happens all the time, unfortunately. Put a zip tie here. And we want to make sure that that's going in the middle of the cable chain path. Pull these up. And then this is just going to work its way over there. Are there any extra ties down here? No. So these will just kind of go over here and we'll get a bundle going down to the easy board. The last thing is this guy. And what path does it take? We can take it along. Okay, that'll go right along the stepper path. This stepper path. So we got two stepper paths. That one. There's something. I'm just looking for tie downs and ways that this can go without getting in the way of the. I think it'll just go straight down and then over to the easy board. Did I look for the missing trident in my pockets? Next project, print a wall mount phone stand to place the phone in directly in front of him during streams. There we go. Unless some, well, I have notification screen details turned off, so I guess that would be safe. Bell Brothers, $10. Do bat diodes go flaky? My Omron has suddenly gotten quite random, but still works. I would imagine it's more likely that the Omron probe has gone bad than the diode, but I'm not 100% sure. Also was thinking of putting the printer on one shelf and ERCF and spools on the shelf above the printer. Okay. Let's put a connector on this. These are going to go under this way, I think. So, need a stepper wire and then just some black wire for the probe here. Oh, yeah, Kilo's right. Check mechanical stuff as well, rather than just the electrical. What are the stars? Did I change the icons? Or is that the normal member? Is that the normal member thing? So we have some wires for stepper and another wires for steppers. That'll work. And then a couple of wires for. I like using the offcuts for the switch, the end stop. Don't remember the stars before, the bin stars, all the string. Yeah. So that would be the member indicator. And it changes color depending on how long you've been a member. It should anyway. Oh. It changed. It used to be like I don't even know what the symbol was. I didn't look at it close, but it. I am never going to live that down. Matt Lamb, member for 2 months. Thank you. Yeah, I'll have to see if I've joined any new channels or anything. Okay. I need to figure out how long some of these need to be, and I need to crimp a couple of MF3s. Let's just do, this comes around there. We're just going to cut this where Charlie was chewing on it earlier and crimp some MF3s to it. Two. And where'd the crimper go? Oop. What do we got here? It's more like a switch wire. I designed it like 5 years ago. Did I miss a message there from you, Lex? Lex, I'm doing a custom printer. I'm building it going from a lead screw Z to a belted Z, and I have a good Discord where I could ask some questions. Oh, you're talking to the other Steve. So that's a misping. I get it, but Charlie was helping you strip the insulation. Yes, he was trying. Thanks, freak. Beep boop. Tracy, $1.99. Thank you. Breaking news: Steve survives pocket admin hacking. Cinnamon PTFE grease, it'll stop the chewing. There we go. I didn't write this, it was my phone in my pocket. My big issue is that the Z-axis seemed to have some issues. Thinking about a belted Z would prove smoother and more consistent. A lot of care in any couplers or lead screw nuts can help with that too. But it's fun to design stuff and fun to come up with ways to make things like belted Z's on other printers work. Okay. And a 2-pin. This is not polarized, so just get this connected. And I'm just going to twist this to, there we go. Now that's kind of helps manage the wires from being too unruly. Steve Tufnell, there you are. We were worried that I had accidentally banned you, Steve. We did fix the issue from a bit ago. We did. Just notice message retracted versus message deleted difference from earlier. Oh, okay. My phone was the culprit. I'm blaming the phone 100%, not me at all. Oh. Okay. Couple of these. Oh, I didn't strip that one deep enough. And one more. All the wiring. we are. That way or oh, that way. There we go. At least I wasn't compromised. That's true. Pull the phone out of the pocket. It is, that's just so bizarre that the exact right touches happened. High quality couplers for the motors and poly anti-backlash out and still seems some inconsistency on the first layers. If you have Z troubles, I would expect them to show in wall, I mean vertical wall quality. Your pocket didn't call your ex while you're on a date with the new one. I don't have an ex, so that's easy. I need to go through Andrew fine tuning thing today. And so hard I knocked my friend off the bed. Glad I could be a source of amusement. If you ever feel like trying YouTube Shorts, a close-up of your crimping technique would be handy. Okay. I've got crimping technique and heat set insert removal technique are two. Makes custom white fabric is capacitive enough for the screen to register touches. So that is something. These are fairly new. I bought these for the Murph trip, these shorts. So maybe it's something about this different pair of shorts. I don't know. Okay, end stop wire. Now I've got two more, the two steppers. So I'm going to leave these ends on. So I've got two offcuts that still have the end, so I don't have to recrimp that side. So just need to put a 4-pin microfit on the other side. The upper layers are pretty good, and I'm still in the process of building it, planning on getting input shaping in my bed leveling probe going today. Good. My phone got it, but I didn't, James. Okay. Some of this out of the way, and let's look at wire lengths. I'm just going to put 2 screws in this. Oh, I tried, but I know I can't get the angle on this for the ES15. So I reached for the ES15 first, but there's no way I can get these angles. Talking about Z height, what is the right way to make sure part Z height is the same as printed part Z height with bed mesh? I'm not sure what you mean. So I think I'm gonna go right here and just kind of zip tie these things to the mount here, and that'll keep things out of the way. This moves fine. Talking about Z height, what is the right way to make sure part Z height is the same as printed part Z height with bed mesh? Well, your bed mesh is gonna make a very small fraction, if that, of a difference in your part height. Usually you don't have to worry about it. Very, very small, probably way less than even 0.2 millimeters, I'm sure. So that's going there, and then these are gonna come around here, and I'm probably gonna do the same thing, just zip tie it here, keep things out of the way. So, twist this up so it helps hold that together. That's just gonna go there, that's gonna go there, and I think that'll be pretty good. think that'll be pretty good. 3 wires each of those. So if I take one of these and let's see which, well, it doesn't really matter. That's close enough. If I just go like that long, that'll be good. So fade height is when you enable a mesh, you can put your fade height setting. It will compensate for that mesh over that distance. And over that distance, it'll slowly remove the compensation until it's not following the contours of the mesh. If you go to, I'm gonna take a little aside here. You go to the Clipper documentation, clipper3d.org. I think if you just go to documentation and then go to bed mesh, you're going to be able to find, we scroll through here, there should be a value for fade. It should explain it here too. Move splitting, mesh fade here. So when fade is enabled, Z adjustment is phased out over a distance defined by the configuration. And you can say when it starts to fade and when it ends. So here at clipper3d.org/bedmesh.html. And this will explain everything you need to know to set that up. Okay. So now this is the other side, so I need these. Okay, what is the what pin? Just lining up where pins need to go to match the, there we go, just like that. So and a little bit here. So when I'm crimping these pins on the wires, the housing, the little tab there up, see if I can explain this right. This inserts into, let's focus, there we go. The crimp side, the tab side for the crimp are also up. So I'm lining these up so I don't have to twist them around when I, my throat. So I don't have to twist them around when I insert the pins into the connector. So making sure they're all oriented, so when I crimp this, the crimp part is also up. Does that make sense? If I just randomly crimp these on the wires, then you have to twist things around, and then it's harder to get your wires to line up. So keeping all these consistently oriented when I crimp them helps with that. And And I'm noticing I've got 2 different sizes of terminals in here. Both of them work for these 24 gauge wires, but I spilled my the bin there a couple of weeks ago, and I'm noticing I didn't get them all back in the same. So some of these are the smaller gauge and some of them are the larger gauge, but it's all fine. Okay, so all of those are now lined up. They all go right in here, lined up. And then this side I often have to kind of coax them in with a little screwdriver or something. So then this will go here, and then it can reach over and plug into a stepper spot. And then we do the same thing here. This guy's gonna go right here, and that's probably enough right there. And I get more offcuts that I can use later. Gotta go, glad to meet you all, and Charlie after Murph, good night. See you, Nathan. Hope we can figure out so much easier than having to recompile Marlin. Yes, big time. I've been playing with RepRap firmware lately. I need to, I've used it years ago. I need to refamiliarize myself with it. Just as to get more experience, more breadth of experience, I guess. Anybody here using RepRap firmware? Okay, is this the same way? Well, that's fun. That's fun. These are exactly opposite. And that's fine, as long as the pairs match up, then we're okay. Let's go this way. Whitey, you use RepRap firmware. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go through these because I am all over the place on what pins I'm grabbing. Some of them are the larger gauge, some of them are the smaller gauge. I did not do a good job of sorting them when it first spilled. Oh. Do you want to pay crazy prices for a pie for Clipper? Yeah? I'm using a Duet. Nope, only Marlin so far. And like people have said, the need to recompile every change has me not even thinking about Marlin. What is the heat shrink namer thing called? The label maker. So I use this. I have this. I have a Brother. I don't know what model it is. PT D600 or D500. PT-D600 label maker. And then I just went on Amazon and bought some generic heat shrink label tape. Nero was showing some pie alternative the other day. There's a few out there. They're mellow. MKS has one now. I don't know who else. Okay, so I'm gonna match up the wire colors on here and hope that everything will work in. So I'm just looking at the connector here and matching up wire colors, and then hope I can just get everything set up in firmware configuration. So it's not the same pattern as the other because it's a different stepper, and I'm not changing this side. So I'll just deal with it. Deal with it on the other side. Make sure all those are in. And then we've got that one done. Now those are going to get zip tied together. And then everything's going to just kind of hang right here. And then the end stop is going to go about there. So let's cut this and do our last. Marlin is cool, but Clipper has a big advantage in that it's easy updates and versatility with the little coding knowledge, and that's absolutely true. Either rep firmware or Clipper, the ability to just make a change to a config file without having to recompile is worth it. Put the label maker in his pocket and it prints out warranties. Clay on Discord has a guide for alternate Clipper boards. Yeah. MKS has an actual Pi clone. I may have some MKS stuff on the way that may end up getting used in the salad fork build. Ooh, stomach's growling. Having to recompile is why the dinosaurs went extinct. Now that I have this, I want to check pins. Where'd my screwdriver go? Ah, there it is. I want to check the pins for the end stop and stuff like that. What time is it? Oh, we're doing good. So I think the idea here is we're going to try to get it all wired today, all the connectors on it, and then next stream, we're going to configure and try to make it work. So I'm going to finish off. We've got end stop. What is the, okay, pin out is on the board, so we're good. So I don't think I need microfit stuff anymore. Can go there. Now we need JST box. Here we are. I've been avoiding installing a BTT board in my Ender 3 just because I have to recompile the firmware, which I've done a bunch just lazy. I haven't even touched a Marlin compiler in forever. I'd have to relearn how to do it. And I'm not trying, Derek, I'm not trying to bash Marlin. There is definitely an advantage to the low-cost boards and not having to have a Pi. I use Marlin for a very long time with my CR10 and stuff. It's just all my current stuff is going to be Clipper and rep firmware. Marlin's breaking ground. I'm really curious to see how Marlin does resonant compensation. It's easy to build these days. A lot of example configs available. Tools are also easy to install, but the SD card part is a pain. Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. Marlin's great if you're OEM. Okay, so we have 8 more crimps to do. So let's do 8 crimps. I just scanned your QR code badge. Awesome. It should go, it goes to the Discord, right? I guess that's a, doesn't that expire at some point too? Tracy, thanks for the gifted memberships. Does it go to a Rickroll? We should redirect it there. Welcome all the new members. For the future admin club. Nope. Yeah, see, it's got a little Discord icon in the middle. Okay. Let's see. Lengths here are all actually pretty good. I'm gonna even these up because they're basically going to the same spot. So just clean those up later, I guess. So even these up. Under normal circumstances, the pie is a no-brainer, but for the price of a spool of filament, you get so much, yeah. If it wasn't for shortages and price gouging on pies, I mean, a pie is so cheap under normal circumstances. I mean, to get a pie for 2 gigs for like $45. Oops. Wow. What do we got here? Anyone tried the orange pie? I haven't tried anything but genuine pies, but I think I will be with the MKS stuff that's coming in. Didn't want to seem ungrateful. I'm sure the moderator training will be very beneficial going forward. The problem is that it's much easier to get a spool of Philly, right? Yeah. The shortage is going away anytime soon, unfortunately. Yeah. The upcoming Ender 3 to switchwire build, I think I'm going to use a Pi 02W in that. I've got an extra one of those. And these two. What I'd like to see from the crypto decline is be able to get a good video card at a reasonable price. I'm still rocking a original 1080 in my main computer, and it'd be nice to bump that up. Okay, so end stop is ground and signal on those 2 pins. So if this plugs in here, it's this pin and this one. GPU are back to MSRP now. I will have to check that out. I'm going to twist this just to control the wires. What do you run in your Mark III's SD card, Octoprint, or on a Pi or full clipper? At one point I tried installing a SKR 1.4 on it with clipper, but I quickly switched it back because I have plenty of clipper machines. I like experiencing the Prusa software on that printer. So right now it's running the standard Prusa firmware with the slight adjustment because it's a Bear and it has a Bondtech extruder on it. But I'm using a Raspberry Pi 2W plugged into the stock board with Octoprint. So, and it works mostly okay. Sometimes Octoprint times out and it's kind of annoying, and I have to reset it. Okay, crimp all of these on. And all of these. Oops. Oh. I guess I don't have the greatest of camera angles here. Sorry about that. Let's finish this up though. Last one. Okay. Now ends. I've got encoder. What is this? End stop. This is the servo. So servo is this one. And that is here. There we go. 5 ground, 5 volts. So 5 volts in the end. 5 volts. Ground in the middle. And signal. That should be the servo, and that matches up. And the encoder is down here. More. I'm just kind of holding up the connector and then looking at the pins just to make sure I have this correct. Volts, ground. Okay, ground is in the middle. Okay, so that's all done. What did I miss? These crimpers are about $18 on Amazon. It's the iWis IWS-2820M. And they're all I've used. I've never used the PA09s, the engineer ones, although I have some engineer tools, like the wire stripper here. These have been good enough for me. wasn't here from the start. Ender conversion going to be OG Ender or Ender Pro? Ender Pro with the 40/40 center extrusion. I'm catching up on chat here. I don't like ratcheting crimpers in general. I'm not a fan of ratcheting crimpers, and maybe just I haven't used the right ones. I specifically bought the iWis ratcheting version of these, and I've returned them because I didn't like them. And I checked out, so one of the team members, Tim, brought an official Molex crimper to Murph, and I checked it out and played with it, but I very specifically did not actually crimp something on it. I'm always hawking tools, John. Only when it makes sense, though. Okay, all of these are crimped. Everything's ready. Close that up so I don't accidentally spill it. Let's put this up here and so gear and selector. So this is gear and that's the correct side. So we're gonna plug that in there. And selector goes here. I'm not actually gonna power any of this on yet, so I'm just getting things lined up. I'm gonna move my labels down here so they're easier to identify. And this is encoder, which is here. Then end stop, which is here. And then servo is there. And all of that. And I need to put heat sinks on the 2209s. That goes there. And that goes there. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the screws to mount all this. I'm just going to take it off with the got a pair of non-ratcheting and a ratcheting. I find ratcheting easier because it can hold the terminal captive. Yeah, I just do that. I just keep a little bit of pressure on it. I'm sure I would love the PA09s. I just haven't had a need to buy them. I've built, what, 14 or 15 Vorons, and probably about half of those I've built the wiring harness for, and this is what did it. My crimping machine costs about $5,000. It was an automatic for large amounts. Yes. If you're production, absolutely. Okay, so now I think I'm going to let these do like this. Maybe get a few zip ties together, clean this up a bit. Hi, Pie-eyed. This all isn't too bad. Wires coming from each side, mostly out of the way, or adequately out of the way. And then I think just a zip tie around the mount here. And one more. What is your feeling about bamboo? Is it a Voron killer? I don't think it's a Voron killer. It's its own thing. I don't really have a. There was a bamboo at Murph. I never went and looked at it. But I don't really know enough about how it's going to go and how any. I mean, there's some questions about open source slicer they're using and whether they're releasing stuff in the correct way. As long as all that gets sorted well, it sounds like a cool machine. Sounds like a cool plug and play machine. But there's nothing to build with it. Yeah, they're apples and oranges, absolutely. There's not a whole lot you're gonna do other than turn it on and print. And that's a great thing for a lot of users. It's not what I'm looking for though. That's not why I'm in the hobby. I'm in the hobby because this satisfies my tinkering and creativity itches. Yeah, I like to build. There's nothing to build. That could probably be shortened up a little bit more, but I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. That is wired now. Everything moves. Everything's out of the way. We need power and data, and those are going to run down this channel. So let's see if I have enough power. I've got some power wires here. Yeah, the system is more exciting in text than in person. For the person who's boring, well, not for the person that's boring, but for the person who just needs to send a print and have it print. There are very different use cases. Let me let Charlie out real quick. Go, go. This is Steve builds, not Steve prints. Absolutely. That is exactly it. If I'm not printing printer parts, then what am I doing? I think these are close. I use these. It's like buying a PC pre-made versus building your own. Yeah, and I've always preferred building my own PC. Yep, it's absolutely fine. Everybody has their own take on the hobby and what their goals are and what they're trying to do. There's nothing wrong with that. Just putting some bootlace ferrules on these power wires. Hey Juan Carlos, welcome. Okay, what is the polarity on this thing? Can I still see it? Yeah, 12 volts is furthest that way, or 24 volt. Yeah, I can't quite get that angle on there. There we go. There's power, and then I'm gonna run some little anchors on here. I might be able to find those quickly. Uh-oh. Thanks, Kilo. Appreciate that. I rated the spam. Dead Bob. YouTube didn't tell me I was live. What I must be like besides a missing trident. Some Murph updates, just some recollections, some wiring of the ERCF, getting really close on this. Okay, do I have some of the... I might have to print some of the wire anchors. I don't see any in here. Oh, there's two. That'll be good enough to get things kind of in the right line. So one there, and then I'll just put one along the side here somewhere. Just grab some cheaper zip ties for now. Not cheaper, but just the ones I don't use as much. I like these other zip ties that are a little longer, but these are just temporary, so just throw that on there. I need to get the length of wire to go down to the power supply. Hey now, dear. So that's gonna go up, eventually gonna go all the way up there, so there, that is good. I'm gonna let Charlie in here in a second. Give me just a second. Yes, Charlie. Oh. Here, you want to hang out up here? It's just USB to the Pi from the Easy Board. Power and USB. USB-C for this one. We're going to be under the electronics compartment here in a second, so. Give Charlie some attention. And give you folks some Charlie time. I'm gonna move this over here because I need to find a USB cable and see if I have one. USB cables, there we are. See? USB cables. I didn't put USB in the clips. You're right. I'm gonna have to cut those and redo it. I don't know how long I'm gonna need, and these are just general USB. There's a little braided USB cable. It's an anchor. That's gonna be way too long though. Let me see if I have anything that's a little shorter. It's too short. What's this? Oh, mini. What's better for the printer, Charlie or DFH fur? Well, Charlie fur is obviously better. That's not even a question on this channel. On my channel, that's not a question. I may have to just use the too long cable and then get another one. Nope, that's not. Why do you insist on going that way? What are you trying to do, Charlie? Oh, he's trying to get over to the fan. Thanks, John. Okay, we can do this one if I can't find a more appropriate length one here in a second. Got one more. Oh, that's video cables. These are USB cables. That's not. I should separate these out to USB-C and the other kinds. Hey, Tony, welcome back. I'm just rummaging for a USB-C cable, but I'm not sure I'm gonna find one. Oh, that's very promising. That's fancy. It's still longer than I need, but it'll work. It plugs in there. Let me give one more check for something. Anything else? Oh, I got 2 of those. Okay. Oh, I've got 3 of those. Must have been a 3-pack. Okay, we're just gonna go with that instead of rummaging in here all day. Yeah, doesn't everybody have just bins of cables? Okay, let's cut these. Someone else said I was going to have to do. It's even got a, oops. There we go. Got a Velcro piece on here. I don't really need that on there anymore. Let's take that off. Bye, Charlie. I'm allowed to throw them away. Not if they all fit in a bin. If they all fit in a bin, and they don't spill out, and I know I have 2 bins of them, but I could probably fit them all in one, then I'm okay. Okay, so we're gonna make sure we have some little extra here. And this is just to get lengths going into the, oh, and this might be about the perfect length of that USB cable. So, can I fit this through there? There we go. Just barely. That cable, stuff it in there. And the power cable, stuff it in there. And now, well, let's see if I can manage to do this without taking the ERCF off. Fairly sure I still have IDE cables in my office somewhere. I know I still have IDE cables. I have 0 need for IDE cables now, but I still have some. So this will end up getting a little more tidy with a few more anchor points when I'm done. But right now we're just getting lengths and testing stuff. So let's go this way. Get a little better view here. There we go. What about ISA cards? I have an old PC something diagnostic card that fits in an ISA slot. Oh, I gotta put this thing back on there. I'll do that later. How are we doing on, have I lost? No, I still got a good number of people here. That's great. Okay, so after I made the comment about how much I love Clipper, I looked at my webcam and saw my printer dragging my hot end around 5 hours in build. Ah, that sucks. Did you have some, is it the hot end melt out of there from poor cooling or something? Ooh, that is barely long enough. I'm gonna go all the way to the power supply with this. But it is long enough, just barely. So we're gonna go there and there. So let's give us, yeah, that'll be okay. Let's just grab this and cut them to the same length. And find my fork connector. Ooh, did you guys see that? The tuft of Charlie hair go flying? Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the crimp right the first time. You're absolutely right. Crimper. Let's see how we're doing. Right there. Oops. There we go. Test it. Pull on it. Make sure it doesn't come loose. Awesome. I'll tie it through here, but right now we're just going to connect it, get it hooked up. Those out. Other screwdriver. I've got just enough spots for this. Whoa. There. And that one there. And a couple of zip ties on these. Hold that up in there. That's doing good. That's pretty good. Now, the USB cable, where did it go? Oh, it fell right here. Let's take this here, and can I go up through here, or should I go along the bottom? Because that's pretty good length as it is. See if I can go up around here. I think that can almost just go right like that. Call it okay. That's perfect. I don't need to get a different cable. Okay, let me catch up. There's a lot of Raspberry Pi talk. If I missed a question, feel free to repost it. Feel free to repost it, but we're doing good. It is wired. What time is it? We're at 3.5 hours. Some of this. Oh, so this little clear shield here is the Meanwell official little cover for the power terminals here. They're really inexpensive. I think these might be in the BOM now. Why do we park on driveways and drive on parkways? Good question. I don't know. How did you wire the extra fan into the SKR with the... So this little board is just a little MOSFET board. The signal wire is going into one of the, I think it's the E1 or E0 end stop. You need one that's capable of PWM. So I know that end stop board is, and then it just runs power from one of the constant power fan ports on the SKR here. It's up here in the at the end of the stepper drivers, and then the other end goes to the fan. I park my car in the garage. The STI gets parked in the garage. But that doesn't mean there's not plenty of junk in there along with it. If anybody knows someone looking for an STI, I think I'm going to end up selling it. But they should probably, for reasons, not be a California resident. For reasons. Have you ever seen the magnet sheets you can print on? I have not. Yes, for reasons. If you don't use your printers to print other printer parts, what would you use your printed printers to print? Brackets and jigs. That's the other thing that my printers print. I made little towel hooks for our shower not too long ago that work really well. I am not jumping on the Tesla train, although I got to drive one for the first time ever, and holy moly, that thing was fast. And that's coming from a 410 wheel horsepower car now. There's a different delivery that just, it's hard to duplicate with a internal combustion engine. I want to turbo my CRV because it pisses people off. It's a CVT. Oh, my STI, Dustin, it's a 2019 and it's white. I don't think I'm going to replace it for a while. I think I'm going to take the room in the garage and rearrange it for more building stuff. It's just, this is what I'm having the most fun doing now. And if I can make some more room in the other garage, and the reasons makes it really hard to own that kind of car in California right now. So how's your RC car progressing? It hasn't. I've just been so busy prepping for other builds and stuff, but it's not off the list. It's still on the project list. Don't worry, we will get to it, and it may be one of those things I need to find an extra like Saturday stream or something to work on, but I want to get it going, and I've kind of committed to a couple of local friends to work on them too, so it's coming. So 3D print the new car. Vic car, make editing studio. More like a Vic car, and be able to rearrange my garage to make it actually usable for building. Right now I have to rearrange every time I want to do something in there. I need to play musical pieces. I cut a piece of the magnetic sheet and use it across my power supply. It's so weak it barely hangs on, so things don't stick to it. Okay. Is that red similar to KVP Voron red on your ERCF? This is Paramount Enzo red on the ERCF. It's Paramount Enzo red is what I used. It's similar, but it's not quite as deep. And especially this is a newer roll of Paramount Enzo red. Their newer stuff seems to be paler, like they're using less pigment than before, so. So you have a gaming PC. At one point when it was new, it could probably be considered a gaming PC, but I don't really game a whole lot. I play a few games with friends. The computer's my other computer's, it's an i9 with 64 gigs of RAM and that 1080p. I built it about 3 years ago. I think it was about 3 years ago. But I'd like to get an updated video card for it, because I think I even recycled my video card when I did that build. But I just don't have time to really game. Sit down and play around in Minecraft a little bit. It's good, mindless. I like exploring. Gaming PC is a PS5. I didn't grow up with consoles, so I've never bothered. My son has a Switch, but I've never had like a PlayStation or an Xbox or anything. I like keyboard gaming because of that. I never got used to a controller. So things to do next. So I think we're gonna wrap up. We got 10 minutes or so left here. We can chat. Any other questions about Murph? Try to think of things, if I think of anything that I want to highlight about it. But let's go with the next stages in this build. So we have it wired. And as far as we know, things like the tool head sensor is working. And I'm hopeful that all of the gates here are working, because I can hear those every time I move across there. I hear that little washer moving into place, which is really promising. So we're wired. I need to put some heat sinks on the stepper drivers, and I need to get a heat sink for the voltage regulator on the easy board. Other than that, the next thing we're going to do in next weekend is flash clipper to the easy board and start configuring the start building our configuration. So, oh, don't forget. Yeah, I caught that, KDM. I'll get the heat sinks for the 3 components there. I'm gonna print out a few more anchors so we can better secure the USB cable and the power cable going to the easy board. But I am pretty pleased with the wire management. I mean, it's okay for this stuff to be out here, especially since we haven't tested anything yet. I want stuff to be easily reconfigured if needed. Everything moves. Part of the next part of setup is adding the servo arm, which you're not supposed to do yet until you've turned on the servo and let it find its position. All of this is nice. So I'm hoping to be prepared for a long stream next weekend. So with a long stream, I want to get to the point where maybe I'm being really optimistic here, but I'd like to push plastic next weekend, because my lineup of builds, I want to get moving on them. So what do we got? Ordered. ES15 just rolled off the bed. Oh, yours did. I was gonna say I had to look to see if it was mine. What are you going to use for a buffer? Does anybody have a recommendation? I was going to use the rewinders that Repcord sells, but I was told that the buffer distance on that might not be adequate, and it might be too strong for the ERCF. Does anybody have any experience in that area? Anybody have any advice? Otherwise, honestly, I was just gonna see how it went. You ordered the rep winder? That's what I was looking at, is the rep winder. Maybe I do it anyway and see how it works. I mean, Pooch is just up the road, and I like to support, especially like to support the local business. Hey, Killer Prince. Still building, but I went for the carrot patch. The idea is I want to use the rep box that I have here. And the printer's gonna sit right here. So it'll be a nice path. So maybe I'll go ahead and buy the rep winder. And if it doesn't work, then we'll shift gears, right? Try something else. Standalone buffers from ERCP should work with the rep box. Yeah, we're talking about buffers right now, freak. On the Voron ERCF board, someone made a mod for the carrot patch so it can hang upside down and is extremely compact. RMU MIMK3 if you want to check into it. Killer Prince, is ERCF on a trident a thing? It can be. Your trident has a little shorter Bowden tube than like a Voron 2. The nice thing about this and using the switch wire here is everything is just right here. We can show stuff and try different things, and it gives me a reason to update and use the switch wire too. The Prusa buffer can be made easily and works. All it does is prevent the things from crossing and knotting. Yep. I actually probably have my MMU2 buffer pieces still. I could look to see if those can be made to maybe sit back here. It might work. ERCF buffer array in the user mods directory on the okay, let's look at that. Let's look at that. We've got this, and we've got user mods, and ERCF buffer array. Is there a picture? Well, there is. Are you still planning to do an Ender 3 to switch wire conversion? Kenneth, yes, that's the next build after this. I've already printed a piece for it. I was showing this earlier on stream. It's a modified version of the bed Y carriage mount. Here's a plan. Get a bamboo lab, use the AM as ERCF buffer, throw away the rest. So this thing here, so this is different from the carrot patch, and that this just deals with the filament, right? Oh, I see. Interesting. Can probably mount something like that. And I only need to print 4 of them. Maybe I'll look at this. What plan are you going to use for the Ender to switch wire conversion? The common one starts with a B. I can never pronounce it. Based on the Torino one. I find that buffers behind are hard to load, unload, and take a lot of space. Yeah. Well, I'll have to look. I'm waffling back and forth on this, but I may still try the rep winder, because all of that would be up inside the box, and it's probably going to be a little easier to do. So I might try that. I think Bill's right. Dealing with routing the filament in something else might be a little challenging. We'll find out. I think I'll try the, yes, Bubanocephalus, that one. And yes, I already have the rep box, so it would make sense to try to use it. Does the carriage for the switch wire mount the MGN12 on top of the axis or on the face? On the sides. The MGN12's for the Y, is that what you're talking about? On the Ender wire mod? Yeah, mounts on the sides. You already got racks the rep winder would work on. The rep winder will work inside of the rep rack too. There's printed parts to mount it inside. So, and then I'm gonna move the outlets from the front here, I'm gonna move them to the back. So it'll just come out here and then feed into the back of the ERCF. Leo, rep winder will probably pull the filament out of the ERCF when it gets disengaged. That's what I was wondering, but some people are saying that it works. If it's adjustable, then that'll be fine. I just need to make a decision and do something. So, since I have the rep box, I think my decision is just to order the rep winder stuff and try that. Well, is the rail mounted on top of the extrusion horizontally or on the face of the vertical side? I'm not sure. Does the carriage for the switch wire mount the MGN12 on top of the axis or on the face? I'm getting confused. We're talking about enders and switch wires and what are we looking at, Lex? The switch wire for the y-axis has the MGN12 rail on top. The Ender 3 Pro to switch wire conversion has 2 mounted to each side. Does that help? For the X carriage, it's on the front like this, I believe. I think it's on the front on all of them for the X. So, what else do we have? What are we at? Almost at 4 hours today. But I think we made good progress, especially with all the catching up and Murph talk and everything. I think we did good. Finish this off. So, oh, okay, thanks, Lex. I'm glad I finally fumbled through and found your found the answer. What are you doing for Ender switch wire conversion panels? Does someone make them? Hoping to follow along and do my own while you are. So I am planning on cutting the panels out of ABS sheets on my MPCNC. So I'm going to cut my own using the files they have. So I'll have to rewind and catch the last 4 hours of Bring Home My New. Ooh, congratulations. 2022 GTI. Are they all 4 doors now, or do they have a 2-door option? Or so you're able to show anything about the Stealth Burner Mini? I can show it. It's been shown. It's been shown on at Murph, and it's been shown on other channels. Oh, I think this is okay. There's the Stealth Burner Mini. Oops, there. That's it. Like I said, it's about 10 times easier to assemble than Mini Afterburner. I want to add a Stealth Burner to my printer, but I would have to get a new rail if I do that. If you want to do Clockwork 2, you should do the MGN12 mod, but you can throw Stealth Burner fan and toolhead setup on any of the setups. Can I show us a link to the SCLs? Not yet. Not yet. Uh-oh. I'm attracting the bots. Oh, thanks, Kilo. You were quicker than I. Did the parcel turn up? No, the trident's still lost. And as far as I know, right now, there's no support for LEDs in the mini stealth burner. What are the other printed parts for the V0 to .2 change? The stuff that Nemgria has made public is obviously stealth burner, some revision going to incorporating one of the user mods, which adapted the trident style to the skirts. This one I've set up with a Revovoron, and it was printing pretty well at Murph. I didn't have the speeds cranked up, but I haven't done input shaper on it or anything. This is the rear. Oh, they were labeling the printers there, so people knew whose was whose at the event. No other major changes to the gantry. So. Minecraft music. Was there Minecraft music on this playlist? I hope not. So. Yeah, but this push plastic and this configuration for the first time on at Murph. I think I'm getting a Revo. How do you like them compared to the V6? Absolutely compared to the V6. The Revo, I am so looking forward to the Obsidian nozzle, because when that comes out, I will be probably converting most, but not all of my printers to it. I like to be able to print abrasive filaments though. So that's the only thing that's held me back. Currently printing, oh, they're non-oiling. Yes, this printer is not named Steve. That would just get confusing. I was about to say this printer's named Steve, but that would just get confusing. Oh, yes. So when I first started my channel, if you search for Steve builds, you'd have to scroll through several Minecraft channels before you found mine. Now I think I show up at the top of the list, but, or maybe that's just my search because it's used to me searching for it. I don't know, if you search for Steve Builds on YouTube, what channel comes up first? Thanks, Squirrel Brain. Have a good one. So before we end the stream, let's go. I've got upcoming projects. I've got finish this, Ender 3 to switch wire conversion, solid fork. End of this month, I'm gonna have to skip a weekend stream. I've got a trip planned. What was the other thing I wanted to bring up? I think that was a big one because I'm gonna have to skip a stream. But I wanna find sometime in July for a members only stream as well, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do on that. For everyone in the stream, it's probably yours. That's true. If the search result changes changes on the person, then yeah. Oh, incognito brings me up first? That's good. I'll have to figure out what we're going to do for the members only stream and when it's going to be. I would guess if I was just looking, trying to find a date, I like to do Saturdays, the same time as I start these streams. So 10 a.m. my time. Maybe like the 23rd might be my target for a members only stream this month. And that would put it a little past where I did in June, but I need some time. So. And maybe I've got an idea what we might be able to do, but I don't know if it's going to work. So anyone who has ideas for that, let me know what we want to cover. So with that, I think we've wound down. I'm gonna work towards being prepared for a long stream next weekend, where hopefully we get this this build wrapped up. So the idea is extra time spent on this build in the various areas earlier in this will pay off, I'm hoping, in the final setup. So anyway, thank you everybody. Thanks for everybody who gifted or became members. Anybody who donated. Thanks for your patience in the obviously very hilarious issue with my pocket deciding to promote moderators and pin messages. Anybody who in the US or whatever celebrating 4th of July, have a safe holiday, and we will see you next week. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.